Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. Good afternoon, the owners of the association. Good afternoon, the chairman of the Nma Enugu State, past chairman and here present, the revered and respected Board of Trustees of the Nma Enugu State. We call this press conference to intimate gentlemen of the press and the public on the event that has happened in the Enugu State. We have just concluded an emergency general meeting of the Congress of the Enugu State, which was well attended. And in that meeting, we discussed the issues that has affected and troubled our association over the past few days, which we are occasioned by the rascality of some of our members who felt that power belongs to them. This meeting was an emergency general meeting somewhat so by the members of the association who collected signatures in line with the provisions of the Constitution and declared the meeting, which we just concluded. It was not a meeting by the SOC or a meeting that was summoned by the members of the association. It was a meeting that was generated by the members of the association. And in this meeting, we critically looked at issues that have affected our association and taken some decisions. We looked at the interventions of the national body, which is illegitimate and illegal. The national body has set a fact-finding committee in the Enugu State, and that fact-finding committee, we make bold to say that that fact-finding committee is constituted by members of the Enugu State that are completely biased on the issues of the matter in the Enugu State. We also make bold to say that that fact-finding committee came to Enugu State, did a jamboree in a hotel without hearing from members of the association, despite the fact that members of the association had gathered in the conference waiting for them. We also make bold to say that the fact-finding committee has taken their report to the NOC, the national body, who, without due recourse to the Constitution of the Enugu State, decided to illegitimate and illegally suspend the chairman of the Enugu State. Beyond the reach of their powers as NOC, our Constitution is very clear in Article 12 that they lack such powers. The powers reside in the National Executive Council and other delegates meeting of our association. So having reason from this meeting, we rejected completely and entirely that decision because it is stated to the Constitution. And we, the members, have been stated resoundly that Dr. Esbebe is still the chairman of the Enugu State, and that we, the members of the Enugu State, stand solely and entirely behind her, and that we ensure that we use every legitimate and lawful means to defend her mandates. In this meeting also, we've also looked at the issue of the illegitimate suspension of the Secretary of the Enugu State. And we noted and observed that against the provisions of the Constitution, that the meeting they used to suspend her was null and void. And this meeting invalidated their actions and stated clearly that that suspension is null and void. Raised by the fact that the secretary who is supposed to sign and summon that meeting or transmit power to the assistant secretary did not summon that meeting or did not transmit power to the assistant secretary, and that they did not bring whatever would have been the decision of the NDC to the Congress, because it is only the Congress of the Enugu State that has the power to suspend any elected officer. On that note, we validated the suspension and stated clearly that the Secretary of the Enugu State, Dr. remained the Secretary of the Enugu State, with the text from where the purported date of suspension started. We also looked at the issue of the refusal of the treasurer of the Enugu State to hand over the accounts of the association to the SOC. And we resolved that the SOC, we condemn that act because we're all leaders. It is not for somebody to sit office and continue to hold the association's account or hold the association to ransom. We have mandated the SOC to use every legitimate means, including law enforcement agencies, to recover the association's properties and account, including those that the other zonal officers are wearing and parading when they are not officers of the association. We will mandated and empowered by this Congress to recover the association properties and the association's account. We also resolve that as members of the State Treasury of this meeting, that we are going to take a protest letter to the President and Council and then the President of the Union as the President of the SOC, registering our displeasure over the handling of the Enugu State matter and giving them 48 hours to redeem the illegalities they have conducted in the Enugu State. For your which we are also informing you that this is also something as a lead. We are notifying that we are taking a lead of the association to use every lawful means, including the law, to challenge such rascality. As far as we are concerned, that decision is null and void. The purported appointment of the caretaker committee is of no effect of law in the Enugu State and within the Constitution of Nigeria. The report of the After Committee, we are challenging them to bring it to the head of the association. Let us meet them at the head. Let the head take the decision. On that note, I will allow members of the BOT and finally the chairman of the Enugu State to continue from where I stopped.
Thank you very much. Yes, press. But it's very, very sad that we have gone through harrowing experience trying to resolve the crisis in the enemy. And we looked up to the national body to assist us. But that did not happen. When they sent an investigating body recently here, and made an appeal to them, they should rescue the association. They should understand what is the intention. They didn't address that. Instead, they started looking at strange facts instead of addressing the crisis point for which the Board of Trustees raised their memo, appealing to them to assist. They came here, they didn't listen to us properly, and they didn't address the issues raised in our memo to the national body. I feel sad about that. And the American Association should rise up to expectations. We should do what we should do and restore peace, not only in this association, but globally in the whole country. I think it's important. I look forward to them to listen to our voices and listen to the Nigerian Medical Association Enugu State, and not just stay there and pass on information that probably biased without listening to the voices of the people they are trying to help. So that is my input on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Without what my colleague has said, I want to be emphatic on the number of NMA members. On one side, more than 900 members, and the other side, maybe 25 or 30. We should look at the democracy here. Majority of the members of NMA state are exactly this committee here. Trying to restore peace in NMA. And the national is looking at the number, 25 or 30 members who are voting and who they are in opposition with. This is not acceptable. This is a problem in Nigeria. This is not acceptable. If we think we are a democratic country, or if NMA thinks it's democratic, we should look at the membership of the
is really unfortunate what is happening at the state level of the NMA. The event that I developed is sad to us and to every writing doctor in Enugu State. And that discomfort is really worsened by the antics that is coming from the national officers of the NIGERIan of today. We say it because one expects an association noble as enemy for which you all work for, which you all belong to, should next and make sure that due processes are followed, that the rules of the association, whether the national consumer provisions or the zero provisions, are followed strictly to the letter and to the spirit. We say we accept it, but when NNA decided to send a fact-finding team, we thought we were having a very good job. It became clear that we are encountered that they hadn't conviction that they wanted to do a good job. Our interaction with the members of that team, and even that followed, showed them they had something planned. They clearly wanted to work on answers to the question. And in all discussion we had, as people to members with that, it became clear to us that they were not interested in this. They were not interested in the rules of the NNA, and they were not interested in looking at the dictates, the final dictates of the series and regulation, and they managed information around. They argued about scientific evidence and not relevant to that state. And we are certain that going toward that trajectory, they will not be interested in. So it's important for us and everyone that we get back to letting association what we were talking about. Allow for the rest of them and allow issues that have been raised, which are genuine, to be processed and educated upon. Telling peace, there will be peace. Telling peace, then they imagination that we run inside into the scalable some organization. And that's really what we are playing with everyone. That's one such thing. Today, unfortunately.
Thank you so much. I would want to hand over to the chairman of the Nma Enugu State. Before I do that, it's clear that the entire members of the Nma Enugu State, we are accusing the Nma President, Professor Bala Audu, of vested interest and complicity in subverting the will of the members of the Nma Enugu State. That is the point we are making here. Professor Bala led Nma and his Ogrimaden Fact-Finding Committee, Ogrimaden Fact-Finding Committee, who is now transformed into the Caretaker Committee, are involved in the complexity and vested interest in subverting the will of the entire members of the Nma Enugu State.
Good evening, fellow state officers, honorable chairman and members of the Board of Trustees in Nma Enugu State, our revered elders, stakeholders, and esteemed members and Congress of the Nma Enugu State, members of the press corps, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you all to this very important media engagement to address certain pertinent issues that we feel may degenerate and create serious crisis in the association and by extension in the health sector of our state and our country if ignored or left unaddressed. As you may be aware, Nigerian Medical Association is one of the foremost professional bodies in Africa.
The vision of our founding fathers was deeply rooted on the need to provide a guiding compass in shaping the lofty image of the profession, and also check the attitude and moral standards in the conduct of doctors in the country. But over the decades, successive administrations have tried to live up to this sacred belief and the vision of our founding fathers. Unfortunately, the ugly turn of events in the past few weeks, and coupled with the disadventures of the national leadership of NMA in the affairs of our state branch, among other matters, have given all of us serious cause for concern. The continued endorsement of the continuous endorsement by the Dr. Nala led National Officers Committee has become a monumental embarrassment to the association and to medical profession in general. It is indeed a sharp deviation from the visions of our forefathers, which we consider most regretted. First and foremost, the leadership of Nma Enugu State ESCO 2022 to 2024, led by myself, the chairman, Dr. Esther, is continually still running till this resolution or expiration in August 2024. The current leadership in the state, which started off as I had mentioned in 2022 August, was led by Dr. Celeste Ugodi, the erstwhile chairman, who resigned on 11th of May 2024 following his emergence as national treasurer, having won an election, and I assumed office as substantive branch chairman, according to our rules. But since his resignation and exit from office, he has deliberately to hand over the instrumentalities of office, including the accounts of the association, to me and the current experts as stipulated in our rules and regulations. He not only refused to hand over the accounts and instrumentalities of office, but threatened to use his new position as the national treasurer to make the state branch ungovernable. And this threat he has continued to carry out in conjunction with his friends in the NOC till date. Some of the leaks of these impunities include an unprofessional conduct, include the fraudulent withdrawal and unapproved withdrawals from the association accounts in Eco Bank, with shared disregard for the laid down constitutional positions of the association and disobedience of the Congress of NMA in the state. An outright disregard of the National Executive Council of NMA, assault and disrespect to elders of the medical profession in the state, recruitment of NOC members to create crisis in the state, projected diversion of the dues meant for the state from the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to fund illegal and purported national officers' visits with their crews. The continued transactions by the National Treasurer Dr. Celeste Ugodi, even after exiting office, was reported to the national body, yet nothing was done to address the matter. The NOC rather shielded him from investigation at every turn, and I held that of forcing the suspended and unqualified members to unconditionally take over the leadership of our dear state in the name of the technical committee. Despite the Congress going against that. It's important to note that before emerging as National Treasurer, Dr. Ugodi had been accused by the State General Secretary, Dr. Sondoka, for diverting and misappropriating over 60 million naira belonging to our state branch. And these funds were traced to personal accounts of the Treasurer and Social Secretary of the state, Dr. Chukwuemeka Abu and Nnamdi respectively. And based on this allegation, both of them were referred to the State Ethics and Disciplinary Committee of Nma Enugu State by the State Officers Council on Tuesday, 30th January 2024. The constitutional action which they refused to obey till date. Again, the current financial checks and balances, including including financial regulations of the association, were flagrantly disregarded and breached by the role of SY chairman and now National Treasurer, Dr. Ugoye and Dr. Ikwanikawo. And instead of reporting and submitting for further investigation to clear themselves of the allegations in line with our rules and regulations, they started evading justice by resorting to lawlessness, crisis generation, and intimidation of members using the instrumentality of the National Officers Committee. This unprecedented austerity and committed by individuals with cases of alleged financial fraud is unacceptable to the general body of Nma Enugu State. Dr. Chukwuemeka, the treasurer, also took his responsibility to a higher and unimaginable dimension by assaulting one of the DOT members, for which he has been referred to the State Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. The first impunity was a premeditated and non-constitutional ratification of purported subsection of the State General Secretary, Dr. Soto, which happened shortly after a day whistle for the alleged financial fraud. The social media communication emanating from the National Officer Committee in this regard came to our state branch as a root show. Ironically, our state branch notified the NOC of the suspension of the General Secretary or wrote about having any crisis in the state. We never did that. Yet, the NOC didn't deem it necessary to formally meet and discuss the matter with our state branch. The National Officer Committee also, in conjunction with the National Treasurer, went on their own and fabricated, matters that do not exist, only a bid to cover this allegation. An SOC council, an SOC meeting of the association held on 10th and 17th of June 2024 respectively wrote and made 5 chief constitutional resolutions, which were officially communicated to the NMA President, Professor Bala Aoudi. Despite the receipt of these communications from our state branch, Dr. Bala Aoudi led NOC purportedly set up a fast-finding committee led by Dr. Nma Enugu, and the committee was entirely made up of the national officers who are Dr. Celeste close friends and allies, and this is well known to all and sundry. Chairman of the fast-finding committee, Dr. Nma Enugu, who happens to be a late member, the past president of this association, decided to set aside the next resolutions he was part of by implementing the recommendations of the suspended member who has refused to account for his previous membership to the doctor's list. This unwarranted, premeditated setup, unfortunately, was meant to achieve a contrived agenda. The committee arrived there without a call from Miranda or dispatch terms of engagement. Even when we were asked by the committee to arrange a venue where they will meet our members to interface with them, and we did, we convened the Congress, the fast-funding committee declared meeting with members of Nma Enugu at the 11th hour. The committee, like we heard in the deliberations earlier, came in 4 days and spent 4 days in Enugu with the association's funds. Now, the questions begging for answers were as follows. Who then did they come to meet when they visited Enugu, since they refused to meet with the Congress of the NMA? Why did they outrightly refuse the people who own the association? Which facts did they find and from whom? Why would the committee claim to be on the fast-finding mission and address the sitting state chairman legitimately elected as an acting chairman, whereas the letter constituting them and sent them to Enugu addressed her office properly as the chairman? And when did they address the General Secretary as a suspended member with his name and address the Assistant Secretary secretary as acting secretary. What then were they satisfied if they had already made up their minds along these lines? Ladies and gentlemen, let it be known today that this is not the first time Dr. Nma is being sent to Enugu on the first finding mission, and it didn't turn out well. We therefore wish to use this video to inform Dr. Nma and his first finding committee that while he succeeded in his first missionary journey to Ghana NMA State in 2020, as can be shown in the records, this will not happen this time around. Let's also inform us that our state branch was making good progress with our constitutional mandate to carry out an unbiased and all-encompassing and a balanced transition program before the first finding committee arrived. And this transition program is kicking off with an AGM, annual general meeting, which is statutory, fixed for 31st of July, and an election the next day, which is 1st of August 2024. A communique with all partialities and effective nationalities from the national body, signed by their General Secretary, Dr. Nma Enugu, quickly surfaced on and off on various social media platforms in a draconian style, alleging that they have relieved myself, the chairman, and the secretary of our duties, and that they are now a get-together committee, and they are going to conduct both the AGM and the election via Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, where is this done? And all these illegalities, have continued to fester. It's pertinent to inform this House that the association is currently in court on this very matter, and that NOC is unfortunately trying to hijack and twist the narrative and the issues of the Congress. The suit was visited by a principal agent and friend of the National Treasurer, Dr. Jide Ozugbo, with suit number E451/2024. Before his lordship, Honorable Justice H.O.A. It's interesting to know that the National Treasurer, Dr. Celestin Ugo, and Assistant Secretary, Dr. Ijoba, who were successfully listed by the plaintiff as defendants in the suit, went behind to work against the association and used another lawyer to execute that suit instead of the association's legally employed lawyer. The Congress of NMA Enugu State has been very respectful and patient with the national president and NEC by giving them the benefit of doubt over the past few weeks of these embarrassments. And arising from the Congress of NMA Enugu State today, the Congress hereby passes a vote of confidence on the leadership of NMA Enugu State branch, ably led by myself, Dr. Nma Enugu as chairman, and Dr. Sunday as General Secretary. We were both deliberately targeted for humiliation by the NOC and his allies by the NOC and the National Treasurer and their allies. We salute and deeply appreciate the unparalleled commitment and resilience of our esteemed members throughout this trying time. Surely darkness cannot triumph over light, and we are in this struggle together and shall be victorious by the grace of God. Let us also note that the transitional program will run as advertised, with the AGM taking place on Wednesday, 31st of July 2024, and the election the next day, Thursday, 1st of August 2024. The Congress of NMA Enugu State wishes to call all well-meaning Nigerians and members, security and law enforcement agents to call on the President of Nigerian Medical Association, Professor Alan Albi, to please give peace a chance and spare the Medical Association from further deliberation and embarrassment. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Long live NMA, long live NMA National, and long live Federal Republic.
Thank you, Mr. President, gentlemen of the press. We may entertain questions if you have any.
Okay, good evening. My name is the Bangladesh newspaper. No, we are not at least familiar with this crisis. So you were presiding, so we don't know what's happening now, and maybe to preside. And then we got the stage, we now got the suspension. So, give us that background.
Thank you for your question. Again, I'm Dr. I'm from Nma Enugu West, which is one of the zones in Nma Enugu State. I work at UATH. The meeting I presided over was summoned through signatories by members of the Nma Enugu State. It summoned an emergency meeting. The state officers can summon the meeting, or members of at least 30 covering at least 2 zones of the association can summon the meeting. And at the expiration of 2 weeks, where we expect the state officers to advertise for this meeting, and they failed to advertise for this meeting, those that appended their signature for the meeting has the right to convene the meeting. I am one of the signatories to summon the meeting, the emergency general meeting. The 2 weeks notice expired on the 15th of this month. The 3 weeks notice expired on the 15th of this month. In line with the provisions of our constitution, we advertise for this meeting. And when we come to the meeting, the SOC members, the highest ranking member of the SOC member, is deemed to preside over this meeting. We arrive at the meeting. The ranking members of the SOC of our SOC, which is their right, decline in view of the fact of the issues of the national body and circumstances of legitimacy of the office. Based on that note, the Congress nominated me to preside over this meeting. And in presiding over this meeting, we had items of the agenda. One of the items of the agenda is to discuss the issue of the purported suspension of the Secretary of the Nma Enugu State, which we reviewed and found that the purported suspension was impacted with not following the provisions of the Constitution of our rule book, where the Secretary is supposed to convene for any meeting of the association, and in his absence, he transfers a letter, transmits a letter to the Assistant Secretary. That was not followed. We also looked at the other part that even when that was followed, and the Secretary has been found wanted, it is not the duty of the SOC, it is the Congress that relieves the president of the association or executive of any such office. That was not done. Based on that, we interpreted their purported suspension and have the Secretary remain as the Secretary from the date to which their data was effected. By implication, such a suspension does not exist and did not happen. And the Secretary of our association, Dr. Sedo, is still the Secretary of our association with effect of the date of the purported letter. We also make clear again that any actions that the national body is taking based on this wrong information is unacceptable and not avoid and does not have the weight of the law. And we also resolve that we, the members that convene this meeting, attended this meeting, outside the executive of the association, we are going to write a letter of protest to the national body, informing the president himself as the president of the NOC, informing him as the president in council, which is the president of the NEG, which is the highest decision-making body of the association, that we are of the view that the fact-finding committee sent here was done in bad faith and was under the decision they took as a NOC to constitute a independent committee does not have the weight of our constitution. They lack such powers. I challenge the president, Dr. Balago, to show you here in the constitution of the Union that he derives the power to constitute a independent committee when the tenure of an existing state officers council has not elapsed. I challenge the name as the president of the Union to show me in the constitution where he derives the power to suspend a sitting chairman, where he is not the council, where he is not sitting as the president in council. Then there are two different things. Sitting as the president in council and then acting as the president. He has such powers. It is only the president in council or the NEG, meaning that the NEG is where that powers has. It is on that note that we revisited these issues and at the juncture where he saw us bring by the chairman was because we wanted to demonstrate to the law that this meeting is a meeting of the members. And having concluded the meeting, we, the members, as part of that, brought back the chairman, passed a vote of confidence on her as the chairman, and handed over to her to take over. Thank you.
I really don't think that, sorry, my name is Lawrence. I really don't think that you address the issue that you raised. He actually was talking about the problem that actually led to the national office sending part-timers committee to really, because you have been talking about issues in the crisis there, and then the attempt to restore peace.
Thank you. I think this is the second question. What he asked me was where I came in to preside over the meeting. But however, let me also address the issues you raised. First of all, we have our Nma Enugu State, which are not good. Secondly, Nma Enugu State at the level of the SOC had the national treasurer, had the chairman contest for election as the national treasurer, and becoming the national treasurer in line with the constitution of the Nma national, he becomes quantus official. He cannot hold offices. He exists. He automatically ceases to be the chairman of the state branch. However, he refused to transmit powers, to transmit power to the deputy chairman. He refused to sit as the chairman. He continued to withdraw money from the association's account as informed to the members. He also refused to sign change of secretaries to the association. Before now, also, there had also been this. I've already addressed that the issue of the purported suspension of the secretary, which we dealt with at this meeting. So before then, also there were a series of allegations of financial misconduct against the chairman. These are some of the issues we have faced at the level of the State Officers Council.
Sorry, let's summarize. Now, it's like the state is another regulation. Who is supposed to decide the fate of is the chapter and the national. Now, their protest going to Bala, yet is one that is going to everybody. What do you think you do with it? Are you going to have yourself out of national body independently?
Thank you so much. The state is not at loggerhead with the national body. The national body does not only belong to Professor Bala Audu. Professor Bala Audu is one member and single person of the NMA. One. Secondly, we have issues that we have internal mechanisms of addressing both locally and both locally, and we also have means by which the national body is supposed to come in. First of all, we have board of trustees who are addressing those issues locally, and we have also informed the national body that their intervention is outrightly null and void and illegitimate. It's trying to set up a fact-finding committee. We don't have any issues with fact-finding committee. We are waiting for the fact. We are expecting the fact-finding committee to present the report to the NEC. When we will meet them. However, the second action of suspending the chairman and setting the caretaker committee, as I stated, is not entangled with the constitution. And as members of the association, even prayer movement fail their hands and do nothing. We said that we will use every lawful means within the ambit of our constitution, including the protest letter we are sending to him, assuming and believing he is not well informed on the matters of Nma Enugu State, to make him realize that he is acting on the welfare conventions and then his actions are illegal and illegitimate. And beyond that, we also have a NEC meeting that we will attend to. And beyond that, my brothers, we also know that we live in Nigeria that is governed by constitution. And everybody, being a Nigerian citizen, being a member of our association, also have the right to seek redress in any lawsuit if he has been unfairly treated. As our association has resolved today, we will use every lawful means to ensure that justice is not only done but seen to be done. To ensure that rascality is not perpetrated in the Nma Enugu State. To ensure that the executive recklessness and impunity does not visit the Nma Enugu State. Thank you. Having answered all your questions, the chairman declared conference closed.
I, Dr. Esther Egwe, the chairman of Nma Enugu State, wish to thank the Media Corps, the BOT, Body of Past Chairman, and the heads of tertiary health institutions, and indeed the entire Congress of Nma Enugu State, and the good people of Enugu State who came as observers to this meeting. I want to appreciate you all, and I want to assure you that we are strong and resilient. We are poised to lead Nma Enugu State to enviable heights so that the healthcare sector and the security of Enugu State will be assured. Thank you very much. And on that note, I hereby declare this media engagement closed.